The Tutsi-led M23 group has been waging its most serious offensive in Eastern Congo since 2012, further destabilising an area where armed groups have wrangled over land and resources for decades. The resurgence in fighting has caused a diplomatic rift with neighbouring Rwanda, which Congo accuses of backing the rebels. Rwanda has, however, denied this. A mediation team met in Angola and agreed on a cessation of hostilities accord. However, the agreement has been rejected by some people in the DRC. What is the real problem in this part of the continent? Let's find out in this World of Africa special report.
Chaos, pandemonium, fear. This was the best way to describe the horror that those fleeing the gunfire were witnessing in Goma. The key eastern city was turned into a battlefield as fighting between the Democratic Republic of Congo's army and M23 rebels ensued. Clashes picked up again in North Kivu province and have been recurring since the group launched their latest offensive on the 20th of October. The fighting has reignited diplomatic tensions between Congo and neighbouring Rwanda. Congo accuses Rwanda of backing the group. Rwanda denies the accusation.
The war imposed on us by our neighbors demands sacrifices from all of us.
This has exposed neighboring states, notably Rwanda, to cross-border attacks that are entirely preventable. There is an urgent need to find the political will to finally address the root causes of instability in Eastern DRC. The blame game does not solve the problems.
The escalation of hostilities forced countries in the region to act. Kenya decided to deploy troops for a joint regional operation against a rebel offensive. Leaders of the seven-nation East African Community bloc, in which Kenya is the regional heavyweight, agreed in April to establish a joint force to help restore security in the DRC.
As neighbors, with various interlinkages, the destiny of DRC is intertwined with ours. We all have a stake in a stable Democratic Republic of Congo, and its security is an obligation that we commit our best effort to achieve.
Then, in early November, the foreign ministers of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda arrived at the Angolan presidency to meet Angolan President João Lourenço, the mediator appointed by the African Union.
At the end of the discussions, the ministers agreed on the following: the maintenance of the dialogue and political consultation mechanism between the authorities of the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Republic of Rwanda as a way of resolving the political crisis between the two countries.
As that was happening in Luanda, Kenya's former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, a mediator for the seven-nation East African community, was in Goma amid ongoing conflict. Kenyatta was trying to plead with the fighting parties to allow peaceful movement of people and return to their homes.
Tusikie huruma, tuache vita.
Let's have mercy on these people. Let's stop the war and start the dialogue. We cannot start with the dialogue and then stop the war. No, we have to stop the war first and then begin the dialogue.
Later in the month, African leaders gathered in Luanda to discuss ongoing conflict between the Congolese army and M23 rebel forces. At the end of the mini-summit in Luanda, representatives from the DRC, Rwanda and several other African states agreed on the cessation of hostilities in general and demanded the immediate withdrawal of M23 rebels from the occupied areas.
The mini-summit decided the following: the cessation of hostilities in general and in particular of M23 attacks on the FARDC and MONUSCO as of Friday, 25th November.
Just days after the agreement, hundreds marched in Democratic Republic of Congo's eastern city of Goma to protest against it, saying it does not tackle Rwanda's alleged backing of the group. Demonstrators, some on scooters, made their way through the city centre behind banners denouncing the international community's silence and ambiguity towards massacres organised via Rwanda.
For us, the people, these arrangements and summits do not interest us. What interests us is to have peace and security that is a right for us. We must not remain in this misery for decades. What we are asking for is the immediate withdrawal of the Rwandan army and the Ugandan army from Congolese soil.
The M23 have not directly commented on the summit, which both Congo and Rwanda took part in. Thousands have been displaced in recent weeks as Congo's army has struggled to stop the M23's advance. The warring parties are claiming to be open to talking, but seems are not willing to put their guns down just yet. The tranquility of this region remains in limbo. Bureau Report, World of Africa.